What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm here to review a new show on OWN, and that is Ready to Love, Make a Move. Now, this is basically a spinoff of Ready to Love, where we're only going to take four ladies from previous seasons to see if they will be interested in dating. I believe there was 25 guys, and if they actually do find love on the show, are they willing to make a move to New Orleans? Do I think that anyone is going to be moving to New Orleans? Absolutely not. First of all, most of these ladies, they have their own business, brands, all this stuff in their cities. They not just packing up and moving for no man. Or at least there should be a little bit more thought going into it, but I understand that they had to come up with some other concept so that way it's not so much like the original Ready to Love. But let's jump right into this, you guys. This is season 1, episode 1. Welcome to Nola. So, like I said, we have four ladies who are trying to find love in a new city. So, let's go ahead and jump right into who these ladies are, what season they're from, and, get to know them a little bit. So, we actually meet Ashley first. She's 36 now. She's from season 1 of Ready to Love. Now, in the past, she was with a guy named Alex. Now, you guys, I don't really know much about Ashley because I did not watch season 1, but I promise I want to go back and watch it. Now, when it comes to this Alex man, according to her, he got really sick at some point, and she was there for him the entire time. However, she told this man that she just wanted him to not lie to her and embarrass her, and he did just that. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. So next person to show up is actually Vernisha. She's now 42. She's from season 3. And of course, we all know about her and Joel. Joel. I was like, that's all she yelled that entire season. But he dipped on her after about 2 weeks of them being together outside of the show. Yeah, I don't think that he was actually ready for a real relationship with Vernisha. So now we have Charisse. Now she is 44. Of course, she's from the Miami season. And we know that she self-eliminated because she had no one to connect with by the time we got to the end of her journey. But baby, one thing about Charisse, she is always going to open up her mouth and tell you how she feels. Even if she's loud and wrong, she's still going to open up her mouth. So I feel like Charisse is definitely going to be a little firecracker on this show. Now, last girl that we have is Zadia. She's now 37, and she's like, I feel like on my season, I was misunderstood. Girl, I think she was from the DC cast, you guys. I don't understand though how she feels like she was misunderstood on her season. Like, no, girl, we remember you acting a fool over that one man. I think his name was, what was it? Dante? I think it was Dante. You was over there acting a fool, and all that man was trying to do was eat his risotto. However, you were yelling and blowing your hot breath all up in his face. Because, I mean, that girl, she was in his face like, it was ridiculous. Now, according to her, she actually dated the guy Naeem on the show for about 10 months after the show was over. All right, y'all. Those are the ladies. And the ladies have a small chit chat. And Ashley, she talks about how this man, Alex, he was a full-time liar. Okay? Because everything was in somebody else's name. Baby boy was hood rich for sure, because according to this girl, this man had the apartment in somebody else's name, the car was in somebody else's name, his whole life was in somebody else's name, okay? He even lied about his first name. Man name ain't Alex, it's actually Courtney. I'm like, okay, yeah, you was definitely dealing with a liar. Like, for real. So, in her confessional, we actually see her crying about what this man has done to her. And I'm just curious, y'all, how long ago was that breakup? Like, there's no way you should still be crying about this man if you was from season 1. Unless y'all was together for like 5 years or something. Yeah, somebody let me know in the comments how long they was together. Alright, so we finally meet the host of the show. And it's a woman by the name of Tamika Lee. She says that she's a matchmaker and that is her role on the show. So all the ladies are moving in together. I don't know how that's going to work. Four different personalities all living together. That should be interesting. And the whole point of this is that the ladies will find a match and be willing to relocate, right? So the ladies, they all talk about their dating experiences in their hometown or whatever, and how the dating pool is all bad. No matter which city you're in, the dating pool is bad. And then we jump right on in, you guys. This lady's like, all right, go get ready because we're going to have 25 guys pull up to the house. I said, okay, let's jump right on in, right? Because I'm thinking that we really about to interact with 25 guys. All right, so here's the thing. The single guys, they show up or whatever, and they in the backyard. And the ladies, they have gotten all dolled up so that way they can meet these men. Now, y'all, I'm going to need for us to all watch Zadia this entire season. Because baby girl, she done switched her wig up on us. I said, well, girl, what was wrong with the wig you had on? But please know, we going to see her switch her wig at least 4 or 5 times just in this one episode. Nonetheless, the matchmaker, she goes on to say that she's going to observe what kind of guy each lady gravitates towards. So now each one has to pick only one guy to hang out with. Keep in mind, they haven't said a word to these men. This is all just on appearance. Now, I thought they was about to go move and shake the room, talk to and mingle with these 25 guys. But no, each one has to choose someone. So first we see Ashley. She chooses this guy named Donald, and he's a 35-year-old videographer, right? Now, here's my problem with the conversation that he had with Ashley. This man, he had all the correct answers that were specifically matched to her. And what I mean by that is, oh yeah, what type of woman are you looking for? Oh, someone who's short, has blonde hair, big personality. I mean, maybe you might be nervous or something, but I'm gonna need for you to relax and realize that all your answers does not have to be, specific to her. It'll be okay, I promise. But nonetheless, she actually likes this guy. Okay? I feel like he seems a lot more calm than she does. So that might be, more of a balance. Now, y'all, we got to get on to Zadia. Baby, she's with this guy named Richard. He's 41 years old. He's a school principal. Now, he wants to get to know her. So he's asking her questions like, oh, when was the last time you had a relationship? For some reason, she was so taken aback by this question. And I'm like, girl, why are you shocked that he asked you that? Like, did you think that you were the only one who was going to ask questions in this or what? So then he's like, I want to know more about you. Where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years? And I don't think she answered that question either. And I'm just like, so what are we doing here? Do you have like questions for him at least? I'm confused. Because I feel like watching Zadia and that man talk, it was just like a waste of a scene. Like Zadia had no interest in him. I'm like, well, why the hell did you choose him? Then when he's asking you questions, you don't want to answer not a one question. Zadia, what are you doing? What is your purpose here? But y'all, let's move on because there was someone who had a good conversation, and that was Vernisha. So she meets this guy named Jabari. He's 43 years old. He's a program analyst. They learn that both of their daughters go to Prairie View. And she says that even though, she's a boss, she's okay with sitting in the passenger seat. These two, they laughed a lot. They had a lot of things in common. And the only thing that I was like, ooh, Vernisha, wait a second, baby. Because I feel like we might be repeating a cycle. The same thing that we did with Joel. It was the first guy that we were introduced to. And we just clicked. And then we put all our eggs in that one basket. Hold on, slow it down. You know what I'm saying? But these two, I cannot lie, they do have good chemistry. So then we move on to Sharice. Sharice is with Antonio. He's 38, which is younger than her. He's a Marine Corps engineer officer. Now this man, he has 3 children at the ages of 13, 11, and 4. Now Sharice was completely shocked. And y'all already know my first thought was, so does she think his kids are baggage? Because y'all know she loves to tell somebody that their kids are baggage. And This man says that he's actually willing to have more kids if his next partner wants children. Now, I don't know. After they had this conversation, I don't know if he's the guy for Sharice at all. Honestly, I do know. He's not the guy. He's not the guy for Sharice. We need to go ahead and move it on. Just move right along to somebody new, Sharice. So now we see everybody mixing and mingling or whatever. And Zadia, she's hardly making any connections with any of the other guys. However, she does have a conversation with Jabari. Now, in their conversation, they did have some back and forth banter. But I do think that the vibe was very different than the way he was with Vernisha. Like, I think that Jabari is just the type of guy who can have a conversation with anybody. But at least to me, it seemed like Zadia and Jabari, they were just kind of going back and forth, cracking jokes. However, when it came to him and Vernisha, he wanted to know more about her. All right, so now we wrap that on up, and the ladies actually meet with Miss Matchmaker, okay? And she tells them that there's a chance that some of these ladies will like the same guy. So when it comes to who the ladies will go on their first actual date with, Ashley, of course, she chooses Donald. Cherie says Antonio, and I have no idea why. I guess she may not have mingled with the other guys, but I really wish that she would have talked to the principal man. Like, I feel like Sharice may have done better with the guy who was talking to Zadia originally. Vernisha, of course, she's going to say Jabari. And Zadia, you know what I'm saying? We already knew she wasn't going to choose that man she was talking to originally, Richard. No, she wasn't going to choose him. So she goes with Jabari as well. Now, Vernisha is low-key feeling like, okay, game on, let the best woman win. But at the same time, I'm not about to compete with you. Your situation is your situation with him, and I'm going to do my thing over here. I said, okay, Vernisha is not trying to get into no catty games with this girl. So let's get to the first date where we see Ashley and Don. Oh my gosh, just now saying that reminded me so much of Black Ink Crew, with Ashley and Don on the Chicago cast. Total different show. Nonetheless, back to this one. So she wants this man to be his true self because it is clear that that is who she's going to be at all times. Like, Ashley has such a big personality, and this girl, she loves to be herself. And I love to see it because honestly, I'm tired of people not having personalities, getting on reality TV shows, and they're just a bore to watch. Okay? Now, according to Don, he is attracted to her because of her personality. And if I'm being honest, you guys, I really feel like something like this could work between both of them because she's very over the top and he's more calm and relaxed. So it does kind of create a balance to each other. You know what I'm saying? And they have this discussion about their love languages, and they both have the same love languages, which are acts of service and quality time. He out here feeding her crawfish and all types of stuff. I actually like this date because he wasn't rubbed the wrong way because she has a big personality. There have been times, so many times, where a woman has had a big personality and these guys will be like, oh no, we're going to friend zone you. I mean, I know that in terms of this show, you know, the women are doing the choosing, but how many times have we seen guys be like, oh, I'm not really feeling this lady like that because of those types of reasons? You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, let's go ahead and move on. Now we see Sharice, and baby girl has on this really cute orange crochet two-piece. And I'm like, okay, she look real cute, real cute. However, Antonio is out here with this burgundy vest. And I don't know where he was going with that outfit. Like, literally, it was a burgundy vest and pants. The vest had a design on the back. I'm like, what 1980s movie theater do you work at, sir? I don't understand what's happening with your wardrobe. Now, Sharice, she must be a changed woman, y'all, because you already know the original Sharice that we met, she would have called him out for what he had on. But she's like, no, that's being superficial. You know, I'm just going to try to meet with him and see what he's talking about. I said, okay, Sharice, there's some growth there. So they realize that she's older than him. And I'm just like, y'all didn't talk about that when y'all first met? I guess it must have never came up in conversation. So now they are talking about his children, right? Because now this man is what, 38, got 3 kids. That's about average. And Sharice is like, but what about this 4-year old? Like, why didn't you make it work with your baby mama? And according to him, it's toxic. And my question is, are you trying to say that it's toxic only on your baby mama side of things? Because a lot of times it takes two to tango in toxicity. Just saying. Now, according to Antonio, he feels like he's going to have everything under control when it comes to his ex, and his ex won't be all up in their business and all of that. I'm not really sure about that. So, Sharice asked him if he ever cheated, and those eyes got a little shifty, and of course he did. But now he's saying, I'm so reformed, I'm not going to be cheating anymore. So, according to Sharice, cheating is her deal breaker. And here's my thing. This date was terrible. Straight up. Now, as far as if this man has cheated before or not, Sharice, I'm sorry to tell you, but if you're going to ask someone if they have cheated before, maybe you need to ask how recently this cheatation was. Because I think a lot of people are cheaters. Like, straight up. Sure, they cheated on somebody in their 20s or 30s or whatever, and now they in their 40s. Maybe they trying to settle down. I'm not really sure. But I don't want her to sit there and hold people's past against them so much. You know what I'm saying? Now, as far as her and Antonio, this is absolutely a no. But y'all, let's go ahead and move on. So we see Jabari and Vernisha. Now she got on her best Fashion Nova outfit, and it is giving all the body yada yada. And she is not worried about him and Zadia. She is just here to have a good date with Jabari. So in the conversation, she says that she's okay with his past because he was basically a playboy, but now that he's older, he's not into that lifestyle no more. He's trying to settle down with one woman. And he ends up asking her what she brings to the table. Now, I immediately rolled my eyes, okay? I'm not even gonna lie, because I hate that question. What do you bring to the table? Really? Do you even have a table, sir? But nonetheless, she talks about how, she's nurturing, she's a homemaker, and she's so hardworking. So he tells her that, you're real interested, right? Now, keep in mind, his confessional, this man is like, oh, I'm just so blown away by her. I'm out here blushing. And next thing you know, he's asking her, when can he get her phone number? So this is when I got a little worried, y'all. I was like, okay, wait a minute, Vernisha. Let's not get too wrapped up in this one guy. The same way that we did with Joel. But, y'all, Vernisha, she has learned and she is trying to do better because in her confessional, she says that she's not about to play herself out and she's not putting all her eggs in one basket. She is trying to get to know other guys while she is on this journey. So let's move on to Zadia. Y'all, we are on week 3 for Zadia. Okay? Now, she's on this date with Jabari, and they go to this, place that has, I guess, crystals and all types of different things, and they go get a tarot card reading. So the person tells her that, her card said that basically Zadia knows who she is and what she wants, and his card says for him to go with his intuition and decide between his options. AKA, go ahead and go with Vernisha because Zadia ain't it. But nonetheless, they have a conversation, right? So Zadia had the audacity to ask this man, oh, where do you see yourself in 5 years? I said, no, ain't this kind of funny? Because didn't old boy Richard just ask you, where do you see yourself in five years, and you couldn't give him no type of answer? You act like that was the craziest question that man could have asked you? Wow, Zadia. Wow. But nonetheless, Jabari, he says that, he sees himself being married and traveling. So he ends up asking her the same question. And she's like, yeah, I want to be with my spouse and travel, but the kids are a no. Now, for her, she says that if there is an option to have a kid, there will be a contract in place. And within this contract, you guys, she's not waking up for Saturday mornings, I guess, to take care of the kids because she needs to sleep in. And then this is the part that got me. This woman says, "Oh, and we're going to have some funds for me to have surgery after I have the baby because I want my body back." Y'all, last time I checked, wasn't she like a fitness girl? Wasn't her whole thing fitness and how she works out all the time? What happened to that? Oh, right. Because I get it, Zadia. You were actually a woman who was already small and you just toned up and became a trainer. You've never had to lose any real weight, so you can't even handle putting in the work to actually go to the gym and have to lose like 30, 40 pounds. Got it. I understand. But you know what? That's a whole other discussion for a whole other day. How a lot of these trainers, whether male or female, have never been fat in their life. However, they've only toned up and now they are trainers and they feel like they can charge you some insane prices because they've never actually had to shed no weight. But that's a whole other story, y'all. We're going to go ahead and move on. Now, we actually see Zadia and Ashley have this conversation. And in this moment, Zadia, what's her hair doing? It's in a wrap. I guess she gave the wigs a break. So Ashley and Zadia, they feel like, they can be really close with each other. And I think it's because they are closer in age than the other ladies. And they probably have a lot more that they can relate on. So Ashley, she goes on to talk about how she's going to cook for the girls. And, her family, they own like 2 restaurants. But unfortunately, her stepfather was murdered at one of them. So Ashley, she feels like she has daddy issues because she's looking for a man like her dad. Sis, I don't think that's daddy issues. I thought that daddy issues was when you get a man that is opposite of what your dad was, and like your father, or like your father was lacking. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm wrong, but nonetheless, I feel like it's not that you have daddy issues. It's that you had a great example of what a man should be. And while you are on your dating journey, these men are not equipped to meet that standard. You have a standard, sweetheart. And honestly, a lot of people don't have one. So I think you need to keep the standard that you got and not settle for men who just are not up to par. So next time that we see all the ladies, they are meeting up with their matchmaker and they are all talking about their dates. Bernicia, she talks about how the things went really great on her date with Jabari, but she's not going just with the first guy this time. She wants to do things differently. So the matchmaker, she's like, "Oh, this isn't what we're going to do. We're not going to let the past connections stop our connections." And I'm just like, ma'am, I'm going to need for you to relax a little bit because that's not what she said. I need for you to chill out. Nonetheless, we see when it comes to Zadia, she felt like it was more like friend zone when it came to Jabari. And I agree. So, next thing you know, the matchmaker, she tells the ladies that for the next date, she is going to be doing the choosing. And how we're going to do this show is you already went out with one guy, you're going out with another. After the date, you make a decision. Do you want to keep dating the guy that you first met, or do you want to go with the new guy? And then you're just going to keep switching them out, I guess. Now, this should be interesting. I feel like there's definitely going to be a time where somebody wants to keep both guys and they can't. But I do like the fact that they have to get rid of the lesser connection. Why keep things lingering if it's not going to work? You know what I'm saying? So that way, we going to see Sharice drop Antonio. We should definitely see Zadia drop Jabari probably by next episode. And who else had a date? Ashley, I think she going to stick with Don for a minute because in the previews, it looked like he going to stick around. So y'all, I just want to know, are we going to be counting how many wigs Zadia is going to wear this season? I think that we should decide that as a group. But y'all, let me know what y'all thought about this episode. Are you rooting for certain girls to find love? Just let me know what y'all think. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.